Hello there. So this is Auntie. I'm a Soul Growth Wellness. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for looking at this video. So today what we're going to be talking about is self-acceptance. Again, that's the big journey here, and I want everyone to be in on it. And I hope these videos have been helping people understand what self-acceptance means, and also more importantly, what it also means to the work that you have to do ahead of time to get there. So this video, because some previous ones that I've had have dealt with depression and anxiety and also dealing with substance abuse. So this one is actually kind of getting back to the real journey of self-acceptance that I'm on right now. And today what I want to kind of talk about is something that has popped up for me very recently. I've been doing some deep work with some other coaches, with some other communities, and it has been really, really phenomenal. Very, very happy to be a part of these communities. And what they basically kind of worked me into is a state of panic, which is something that I am prone to doing, and I know other people can empathize with that and understand it. So the panic that I basically was dealing with was, how do I reach out to people? How do I really connect with people? And yes, even though I'm dealt a lot with my anxiety, a lot with my depression, I still do have some issues in terms of trying to, or difficulties, I will not say issues, but actual difficulties with connecting with people that I care about, that I love, and just kind of getting that sense of it's okay to reach out to them. They may actually want to hear from me. It might be okay. So that's just, a little bit about what I have been dealing with as of late in the last few weeks or so. And basically, what I ended up coming to was this a wonderful epiphany. I'm all about the epiphanies. As a side note, when we introspect, when we really look deep, when we ask ourselves the tough questions, or when we get a coach to ask us the tough questions, I had to have both. I did a lot of my own introspection, I did a lot of journaling, I talked to a lot of coaches and had my coaching sessions with them. And basically what ended up happening is I came to the epiphany that something that I'm doing in reference to my connecting with other people is I'm making it obviously all about me. How are they going to respond to me? What's going to happen to me? How are they going to make me feel good about myself? Did you hear what I just said? How are they going to make me feel good about myself? It's insane. No one can make you feel good about yourself. That's something that comes from within. And as cliche as that sounds, because I heard that for so many years and I was just so angry when the epiphany finally hit, that's what they're talking about. So basically, there was this kind of idea in my head, which I'm again thinking that some other people have definitely dealt with and understood before, is that, yeah, self love, it all comes from within. And of course, in my thinking, being the overthinker that I do and constantly trying to, tell other people that they know exactly, that I know exactly what I'm talking about and they don't, I took it upon me to think to myself, well, people are mirrors, in order for me to know who I am, I have to see who I am in their eyes, right? I have to be able to see them. No, no, you don't. Something that I've kind of recognized is that people are mirrors for us, definitely. They show us who we are in a lot of different ways. When your relationships with partners, lovers, spouses, husbands, wives, family members, parents, cousins, uncles, nephews, coworkers, people are going to obviously show you who you are. When people have a tendency to not deal well with you, and it seems to be, let's say, more than 5 or 6 people over the course of several years, then chances are there's something going on with you. And that's just an issue of personal responsibility. We have to recognize that we're part of that equation too. But the thing is that even though we have to recognize that maybe we are contributing something to that situation, we also have to recognize too that our emotions are valuable. Who we are matters. And that when you're thinking to yourself, I need, or if you're not thinking to yourself, but you're acting like it, but if you're acting like, I need them to make me feel good about myself, what you're doing is you're placing an awful, awful burden on those people. You're placing an awful burden on your children, on your husband, on your wife. You know, you're placing an awful burden on these individuals to say, basically, in a nutshell, that you matter, that I respect you, that I love you. And you want people to do that. Obviously, we're human beings, we're social creatures. We want people to respond positively to us. It is natural, normal, and innate. There is nothing wrong with that. But the simple fact of the matter is that we start our first relationships with us, also with our parents, but also with us too. And because we have that relationship, that means that we need to feel good about us regardless of what else happens, regardless of what decisions we make, regardless of who we talk to, regardless of what they say about us, regardless of whether they ignore us, regardless of whether they respond to us in a way that we really, really wish they would. None of that. None of that can shake who you believe yourself to be. That's kind of that solid idea of self, that idea of identity, I guess. Yeah, idea of identity. I'll go into that in more detail maybe in another video. That's a whole statement right there. But basically, in a nutshell, it's your identity. It's how you believe yourself to be, regardless of what it is other people say. And basically, for me, the epiphany was I can't make that their responsibility anymore. That can't be someone else's responsibility. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to backtrack. I'm human. But having that epiphany has definitely given me the freedom to start to connect to people, to think to myself, I can't control exactly what they say or do. I cannot control how they respond to what I do and what I say. Okay, I have to be responsible for how I feel after I've taken a certain action, after I've said a certain thing. It's not their responsibility anymore. So that's really kind of helped in terms of the self-acceptance journey so far. So a major epiphany to have at the beginning of the year, basically. So I'm really excited to have shared that. I hope that that made a lot of sense. I certainly don't want to make anyone too uncomfortable, but I want to talk about very real things. Because obviously, if we're going to grow, if we're going to evolve, if we're going to change, if we're going to make ourselves better, if we're going to have better lives, and if we're going to have better relationships with the people that we care about and love, we've got to do the inner work. If you're not doing the inner work, then things are going to stay the same. And I'm sure you don't want them to stay the same. Some things do, but other things you definitely want to have changed. So again, I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, you can go ahead and subscribe so that you can go ahead and get notifications for other videos. And I think that's about it for this week. So thank you for listening. Much appreciated. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.